Namaste and welcome to this episode of the Thursday Thoughts. Today we are going to see what exactly is the problem of one of our seven sister states of the Northeast. Yes, Manipur I am talking about. It is almost 2 months now since the first time there was violence, and now almost on a daily basis you find arson, looting, vehicles have been set ablaze, houses have been gutted. So things like that. It appears there is a serious problem there. Yes, we are faced with a very difficult problem. And I just try to understand. I was trying to understand what it could be, how Manipur has come to this pass, which was sometime back the probably the second best state in the Northeast or in the country, the smaller states, for its progress. Let us have a look. Let us look at the events, how they have unfolded in the last 2 months or so. April 27th or so, the High Court of Manipur announced that the demand by the Meiteis, MEITEI, they are the community, there is a tribe in Manipur. Basically, they stay in the valley, the central valley. They should be granted. Their demand was to get the scheduled tribe tag, and Manipur High Court bench has recommended that the state government should request the center, and that is how it happens of announcing a particular community as ST or SC. In this case, it was scheduled tribe. And once this was announced by the High Court of Manipur, violence erupted. In fact, violence didn't erupt immediately, but in protest against this particular order of the High Court at Manipur, the hilly areas, the hilly districts of Chura, Chandpur, and Bishnupur, the small villages, they wanted to have or organize a very peaceful march, protest march against this particular ruling of Manipur High Court. And these, of course, you can decide, you can very clearly guess that this was organized by the other side of the coin, or the people who feel they are marginalized, they have been not given their due, namely the cookies. Yes, it is basically appears to, on the face of it, appears to be a fight between the haves of Meiteis and the have-nots of the cookies. The ratio of 60-40 in the state, the population ratio being 60-40. So the majority Meiteis who wield power in the state, they appear to be taking the minority, marginalized minority of cookies for a ride, for their property, their rights, whatever you call it. So this silent or peaceful march or procession, protest march on April or May 9th, if I'm not wrong, May 9th or 10th, this protest turns violent and loss of lives. And to date, maybe around 300 people or 100 people have been sacrificed, and more than 300 people have been wounded, and things like that. I mean, a lot of houses gutted down, vehicles burned, ablaze, and all things like that. So absolutely chaotic situation. Basically, these cookies appear to be protesting against the BJP's Biren Singh government. Biren Singh, incidentally, is serving his second term after winning comfortably this 2022 November elections. In fact, he was voted back to power with a higher majority, and that is how he continued. He is the chief minister since 2017 of Manipur. But now it appears it's difficult for him. It will be difficult for him in future unless he is able to bring the state law and order into control. And he has asked for 10,000 people of the Central Reserve Police Force, Army, Air Force, all that, So this is basically, to me, it appears that a basic lack of faith, lack of understanding of the locals, of the valley, Imphal and surrounding areas of Manipur, basically again Meiteis, and versus the Kukis, the hilly area inhabitants, Kukis, who ironically have got all the legality or all the legal powers to buy any land they feel like in the valleys, whereas the people residing in the valley are not legally allowed to purchase any land on the hills. I mean, there are so many contradictory rules or acts in force, and as a result, lack of faith between the two communities. And you can give any color you feel like. Basically, I feel that these need to be sorted out by the state government with the help of what all central forces or central power you require. But it is a local issue. I mean, it is akin to the problems of, maybe we have heard it so many times over and over again. It happened in Jammu and Kashmir, where the Hindu Pandits were made homeless. Here the Kukis, the 16 families were made homeless, and now it amounts to almost 60,000 people who are rendered homeless on both the sides. When fight erupts, nobody understands whom he is making life difficult. It is his own people again. And at the same time, we have the porous borders sharing with Myanmar to the east, as well as to the south of Manipur is Myanmar. And there is again ethnic problem in Myanmar, resulting in many of the illegal immigrants trying to cross over into Manipur. And they happen to be, maybe old relatives of Kukis who are already residing in Manipur. So it is so very difficult for the government to identify who are these infiltrators, let alone identify them as militants or insurgents or terrorists. In fact, there is one more aspect to the whole thing. In the hilly areas, when the state government, Biren Singh's government, was trying to increase the area of forest, trying to comb the forests of the population. And there was one more angle which came to the surface, is the cultivation of poppy. Poppy, incidentally, again is a crop that results in opium and narcotics. Yes, opium or even marijuana, things like that. I mean, you cannot allow people to cultivate whatever they feel like. You cannot indulge in drug trafficking. So that is again the porous borders doing their trick. So there are so many aspects to it, but more or less it appears to me, I may be blamed to be oversimplifying facts, but if the state government could have understood this particular not having faith of the Kukis with the so-called haves of the Meiteis, things would have been much better. They should have discussed their plans of combing the forests of infiltrators. They should have taken the local Kukis into stride, in their own stride, and into confidence. Then things would not have happened like this. I know it is not a simple solution, and to me, I have tried to see the on the net. These problems are there for the last decades. I mean, it is not yesterday, day before, 1 month, 2 months, but it has now come to the surface in a very violent way. I only pray God that these problems get to the solution faster by the powers that be, maybe the state government, the central government, the reserve forces, and by burning, by killing people, nobody achieves anything. It's only peace through negotiations, which the state government couldn't do initially, I am told, by the reports that I went through. And have mutual discussions, have dialogues, and tell them that yes, you can stay in these areas. You can, in fact, the increase of population also is alarming, not alarming, it's quite high, even above the national average. So population is increasing, so these type of problems may surface at any point of time. And another point is, I was told, from the reports again, that there was a lot of looting by the protesters of the police stations and the army contingents of their weaponry. So they are wielding the weapons that our security forces are supposed to be having, them M16 or the AK-47s, whatever you call it. So I mean, they have become armed, and one of the Métis leaders have told on a national channel that though they told it is a peaceful march, they were armed. So how come it is? So the state government has nullified the SOS, stop of operations and all that. I mean, there's a mutual mistrust and distraught in both the sides. So that has to be brought back. So it will be beneficial to the locals first, if they harbinger or bring in peace at the earliest. I am praying God, may peace prevail as early as possible, and the Seven Sisters, people in Seven Sisters, live peacefully. So with these words, I leave you at that. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.